Welcome back to the channel, gang. In today's video, we'll look at some creepy and interesting TikTok that'll make you question everything. And if you're new to the channel, sub up and let's get it.
Y'all might want to start looking in the sky a little bit more often because this is starting to become a little not normal. Ever since that airplane crashed in LA, UFO sightings have been spotted all over the place. Now, I know some of y'all gonna say y'all don't believe in UFOs, but look at this. I mean, look at that. That's not a toy. That's not a plane. That's a UFO. Like, what the? You got motherships appearing off the coast of Daytona Beach. You got UFO sightings and spottings in Texas. I mean, where's one of these things gonna end up next? Now, I don't know if you believe in extraterrestrial activity, but this year alone has been more sightings of UFOs in the beginning of the year than I can remember any other time. Is ET and his buddies trying to come down here and invade Earth? Is it somebody down here that they want to take away? If you see a UFO, don't try to engage. Don't try to get its attention. Just keep it moving. You know, the last thing we would want is for people to start disappearing. Yep.
If I'm at the beach and I see this, you can't convince me the world is not coming to an end.
Hello, Ruslan. Heading to Tattle, Beverly Hills. Please make sure your seatbelt is fastened. For any questions, press the call support button to speak to the rider support agent. Almost there. Don't forget your phone, keys, or bag. You're here. Please make sure it's clear before exiting.
Thank you, buddy.
The whole show on Zeus was a humiliation ritual. You know what I'm saying?
I like that terminology.
Yes, it was a humiliation ritual. Zeus is in love with Greek mythology. Ooh. Greek mythology is demonic in a real way. Brodesky, I didn't sat up, bruh. What piqued my interest, right? Zeus Network changed my name from Pied Piper to Pipe. No, from Pipe Piper, right? Yeah. They said pipe.
Yeah, Pipe Piper.
Because you know I'm a licensed plumber. Yeah. They changed it to Pied Piper, right? So that sparked my interest. I said, what the is a Pied Piper?
Yeah.
No, Hiram, look. It just totally changed shapes on here. And I'm not moving. Okay, guys, if you watched from the beginning of this, you saw, look. What are you? What are you?
Seems friendly.
Hi.
Maybe it's waving.
Do you want to change colors? Or is that just your color? What are you doing? Oh my God. What are you doing?
So that was it. That's the one that I saw.
Whoa. You're,
That's a drone.
You're very interesting. Oh my God.
What? It's turning into a circle.
Whoa.
Could you change colors?
Oh my God. I
did. Yeah! Yo, you're sweet.
Thank you for doing that for my baby.
Let me know if you guys think this is AI, maybe a portal, or an angel. Nowadays, you just never know.
So check this video out, y'all. This guy is away on vacation, right? And at 3 in the morning, he gets a ping from his Ring doorbell, and he sees this thing out of his Ring doorbell, y'all. Check this out. This is in Dallas, Texas.
I picked this up last night. Not jumping to conclusions, but this is weird. Prob the clearest footage I've seen. Slowed for detail. Lucky the car drove by and seemed to scare it off. The roof is 8 feet tall for scale.
Check this out. Watch this. Nah, this thing, look at this. Y'all see that? Y'all see that? Okay, I slowed it down for y'all. Look, look. It blinks. What the hell? Are y'all, look at that. It blinks. And it looks once again, y'all, look. And then look how tall it is once it stands up. Y'all see that? It's the fact that it blinks for me, right? And then it looks back, and then once it stand up, that junk is tall. Like, oh man, y'all see that? There's a lot of unexplained things happening on the planet right now, y'all. The veil is thin. I don't even believe we have a veil anymore with everything that's happening on the planet right now. High levels of extraordinary stuff taking place on this planet right now.
Whatever this is, it's way too tall. This thing passes the height level of being sneaky.
Parents are a pair who rents. Because you don't own your child, you sign them away using a signature. You signed your nature with a sigil. A sigil is a symbol used in witchcraft. Oh my God! You are born into this world, and the word born comes from barren, which means lifeless, dull, and boring. Then you are controlled by the government, the governed mentality. They control your mind. Everything physical began as a thought in the thinking mind. The mind is the root cause of reality, so they control your mind, not your body. They do this by broadcasting spells to north, east, west, and south, the news. My God! Wow! Then they teach you the vowels in this specific order, A, E, I, O, U. To teach you that you owe them to become a slave. You are weak in the weekdays because you are working. Where you were a king, you are no longer a king if you are working. Then on the weekend, you are weakened from the weekdays. Days is a daze where you are in a state of confusion. The television is used to tell a vision, to program you on the programs. They want you to think slaughter is laughter, hello is hell is low. Words are swords because they mold your mind. They also create three-dimensional sound waves which impacts the fabric of matter. I believe that we were never meant to use words. Language has been manipulated so that we no longer use telepathy because we are all connected on the mental plane. We still have telepathic powers which we call intuition.
In your opinion, whose idea is it to reduce the planet's population to 500 million people, if there was never a reason for that? And why is it promoted? Where did it come from that the ideal number is 500 million people? Yes, they attribute the idea to various entities. They say that it's a plan of the globalists or the Freemasons, who have nothing to do with it at all. In reality, it's the idea of the keepers. It's a task they want to fulfill. It is their vision. Because they cannot control a large number of people. There are only a few of them, and they cannot let their organization expand. If they begin to expand, traitors and a lot of fools will immediately appear. The keepers set tasks which must be fulfilled, whereas fools can start making their own adjustments, which is unacceptable. That's why they have a limited number of people in their organization, just those who are in the know, who are initiated. But they manipulate a huge number of people in many different ways. They are also the ones who initiate laws and violate them afterwards. Thus, they are exactly the masterminds of the population reduction idea, since their number is actually very small. When there are a lot of people and riots begin, their entire system is disturbed. They cannot oppose masses of people and they know it. If El returns, breaks out of his imprisonment, the Eternals will return as well. But the question is, will they be able to rule this world? No, because it's too difficult to control such a large population. But they created this contradiction themselves. They created a religion whose income depends on the number of people. Any king is also interested in having slaves who will work for him, and any politician is interested in a large number of people who will support him. Therefore, No matter how you twist it, it's not easy for the keepers to rule nowadays. If their organization begins to expand, they will get noticed and people will know about them. You've already learned about them, and there are plenty of their traces in history, if you look carefully.
Why do you think they're coming out with a bunch of UFO things slowly? The aliens been here for years and years and years and
They
years.
have.
Since Egyptian days.
Confirmed.
Before that. And the only reason they're slowly leaking it little by little is because if they did it right away, it would cause mass
Panic.
chaos, mass panic, confusion. So they've been setting this up just because Jesus is coming.
Movies, everything, right?
Yes,
it's
all of
almost
us.
like everyone believes in aliens.
All
now,
of a
right?
sudden, yeah.
No
But
one's gonna
before
be
that,
surprised.
they put my uncle in jail for saying that he saw an alien and put him on disability because he said he saw an alien. But why can't he get off disability now when now aliens are low key real? So what the? At the end of the day, I know exactly what they're doing. There's gonna be the rapture. Christ is gonna come back. It says in the Bible there's gonna be a great delusion. So how do you dilute everybody? You got to make them believe it was an alien abduction. So while everybody's like, yo, people left, and there's going to be people left behind, they're going to be under a spell of sort because they think it was an alien abduction. They've been setting that up for years. You just look it up.
Oof.
In the fucking making.
Hey, videotape that shit.
Dude, that shit is just
That's
rolling.
a fucking video. It's aliens.
It's an orb. I got an orb on video right now. A f***ing orb.
What the?
Unedited. Oh my god.
What the?
Oh my. Oh my god.
Operating?
Oh my god. It's on the surface of the water. It's on the surface of the water. It's just skimming across the water right now.
Got light coming. You see the reflection of it.
It's not above the water. It's on. Oh! Shit!
The camera caught that from a distance though, but it kind of looked like the Jetsons on a mission.
Submarine just sank off the coast of Egypt with 45 people inside of it. This is a viewing vessel which allows people to go underwater and enjoy underwater environments. But the submarine had crashed 1 kilometer offshore as they were viewing a coral reef, so we can expect that they probably hit the coral. It punctured the hull of the vessel and it started to fill up with water, which is the exact reason why people don't like going on the submarine ride at Disneyland, the Finding Nemo submarine. And this vessel goes about 82 feet below the ocean's surface, and they go underwater for about 40 minutes. Now, because they were only 1 kilometer offshore, they were able to get rescued, but only 39 out of the 45 passengers actually made it out. Unfortunately, 6 of the passengers did not survive this incident. And just to be clear, the passengers that did make it out had to swim their way out. So they were able to open up the hatch and make it out and swim to shore. 4 of the survivors were transported to emergency services, but unfortunately 6 of the Russian tourists that were on board did not survive. And I'll keep you guys up to date as we learn more.
I would think a submarine would be able to withstand a little bump against a coral reef, but unless that thing was speeding.
This is huge. Utah has just become the first state ever to ban the use of fluoride in public water. And a few other states, including Florida and Ohio, are also now considering the same. You see, the argument essentially is that while fluoride has been successfully reducing cavities and improving oral health since it was added to the public water system in 1945, today there are now concerns that some pregnant women and children may be exposed to excessive amounts of fluoride from additional sources like water-added food, drinks, tea, toothpaste, floss, mouthwash, etc. And it's that additional or excessive amount of fluoride that is the concern. In fact, a meta-analysis of 74 studies done in countries around the world found a statistically significant association between higher fluoride exposure and a lower children's IQ scores, showing that the more fluoride a child is exposed to, the more likely that that child's IQ will be lower than if they weren't exposed to it at all. And this is in addition to the NTP report published last year, which marked the first time ever that a federal agency came to the same conclusion. The study, however, didn't find any evidence that fluoride exposure had adverse effects on adult cognition. Utah lawmakers argued that putting fluoride in the water was too expensive and it had limited benefits on dental health compared to the risks associated. The Utah governor likened it to being medicated by the government. So the question is, what do you think? Should more states stop adding fluoride to the water, or are people just being too overly concerned?
I don't think any level of fluoride is good.
This is a PSA to all the ladies out there. A woman wanted to use the restroom at a gas station in Texas. Once inside the gas station, she headed to the restroom. As she looked up, she noticed a strange lock on the top of the woman's bathroom door. The lock appeared to only work from the outside, meaning that once you went inside, someone could come up, turn the lock, and trap you in the restroom. Watch this video. Look, women's bathroom, there's the lock. And it's functional. Look at this. Crazy. She then proceeded to go over to the men's room to see if the same lock was on the top of the door. And as you can see from this image, no. Only the woman's restroom had that lock. Now she states it appeared that it was an automatic lock, which meant that once you went in, that someone can trigger a button and trap you inside the restroom. The gas station is an Exxon located in Texas. Now, while she was recording the video and looking at the lock and playing with the lock, the workers allegedly at the gas station were going like this to her: "We're watching you," prompting her to call the police. Once she called the police, they arrived at the location and questioned the gas station employees as to why there was a lock only on the woman's bathroom. Their response was, "We don't want large groups of men going in there and destroying the restroom for the ladies." Now, it's real simple. Keep it locked up right. Don't let the men in there. That'll solve that problem, number one. But why was there not one on top of the men's room? That's the question that needs to be asked. What are your thoughts on this? And as always, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear from you.
That had to be the lamest excuse I've heard.
Have you heard the conspiracy theory that Wayfair is trafficking humans?
What? No.
This isn't proven, right? So Wayfair has these weirdly priced items on there. Like there was a safe, a little like small safe, right? And it's named after a person that went missing in Chicago.
What?
So the safe is named like Amelia, right? And it's listed for $150,000. Or a chair named Brooke that's listed for $200,000.
That's crazy.
It's a thing that people have seen on Wayfair for years, but it's just been ignored. No one has done anything about it. I don't know if anyone has bought these items to see what comes in the mail, but it's so weird because it's so common. It happens all the time.
For real?
Yeah, so there have been hundreds of listings like this, and they usually go up right after somebody turns up missing and their family's crying for them and pleading for them to come home. Yeah, it is honestly one of the weirdest things I have ever seen.
Be deported until jurisdiction is more clearly determined. Walk us through your initial reaction to that court ruling. Do you feel like you and your team are in a good position to address this legally moving forward, or what do you want to see happen next?
Yes, I mean, look, this was a really important next step. Early this morning, the legal team filed an amended petition with the court, and we're ultimately asking the court to send Rumesia back to Massachusetts immediately and to release her from custody. And just about an hour or so ago, we received a court ruling where the...
Obviously, this lady's neck wanted to be part of the conversation.
Please tell me this isn't true, because if this is, I've completely lost all faith in humanity. Now, who Justin Bieber really is, we've been lied to this whole time. Now, don't worry, I'm gonna show you the clip. But Justin Bieber's one of those people that's been in the spotlight for forever, ever since he was young. Kinda weird how he got signed to Diddy, but he took that and ran with it, becoming one of the most popular people we know today. But then everything changed for Justin. He slipped up with this one video, because what you're about to witness is just dark. Now, a lot of people are speculating that it wasn't even him this whole time, that it was somebody else. And people are even starting to speculate that the whole reason why Justin Bieber got famous in the first place is that he was actually placed there intentionally. Now, for those reasons are unknown, but you can only imagine that it's just evil.
The Australian news site Perth Now allegedly released a report claiming hundreds of fans saw JB shapeshift into a giant lizard at Perth Airport. The alleged report even had quotes from people like a local skater who claimed bodyguards tried to cover JB mid-transformation and threatened to kick people's teeth in if they didn't put their phones away.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure these salt mines are dead giants. Y'all cannot tell me these salt mines are not dead giants. Bruh, this looks like chunks of meat. Are y'all kidding me right now? This looks like bacon or pork chops. But this is salt from the mine. This looks like blood. Look at it. Look! This looks like the inside of a body. Look at it. Look at it. Bro, they're all just petrified bodies from giants. Look at the resemblance if it started to become petrified over time. Look at it. Look at this one. This one looks like a woman. Look. Look. They all over the world. Humanoid looking entities that are in the shape of mountains and islands and caves. Just look at this one. This is the original image. This is what it originally looks like. But then when you flip it to the side, it looked like a body. Look! You think it's stopping humanoids? Nope. This is like a big ass snake, a big ass petrified snake. It still got the scales. They call this Gorilla Island. Bruh, look at that big ass gorilla. Look at it. It's all over the world. Look at that elephant. Look at that turtle. Oh my God. This world is a lie. The whole thing is a lie.
There's no such thing as slavery. There was never any slavery. How can it be slavery if Lincoln, the president, is a black man?
He was black?
Of course. Go pull up the Library of Congress and you see his picture in there. Why do you think he's on a copper penny?
It's the fact that there were black slave owners, but to say slavery wasn't a thing, that's outrageous.
60% of all pork is produced by one company in the U.S., and that is 100% owned by the Chinese. 4 companies control over 80% of the meat industry in the United States. More than 10,000 different additives are allowed in the U.S. food supply. 99% of chicken, 95% of hogs, 78% of cattle in the U.S. are raised in confinement buildings or feedlots. Means they're not moving around freely. 80% of the antibiotics consumed in the U.S. are fed to animals. Here's a stat. In 2016, 18.4 million pounds of antibiotics were sold for livestock. And that's what you're eating. Suicide rates amongst farmers are the highest than any other profession, and that includes veterans, believe it or not. I found that alarming.
So there's this new commercial from Universal Studios that I want y'all to look at. And this proves that we're about to go through a shift. We're going through some type of portal because this thing is popping up everywhere. And I want you to pay attention. Look what it says, y'all. It says the portals are opening on a new theme park. Now, we all know Earth is a theme park herself because we go through these roller coasters, whether it be emotional, spiritual, mental, physical, and now we just ended an age, the age of the Kali Yuga, and now we're ascending into the new age, the golden age, the Satya Yuga. And I truly believe we're about to go through this fundamental shift where this is going to bring some people to a new world. Literally, there's a great split that's about to happen. Check this video out, y'all, and I'm gonna show y'all. See, look at that, look. We're going through a portal. Y'all see that? Epic universe. So could this be alluding to the fact that some of us are going to be entering a new universe soon? Because check this out. Because right over here you have the FIFA president Gianni Infantino presenting Donald Trump with this FIFA trophy that opens up just like the commercial from Universal Studios. Y'all look at this again, and in the middle of it, y'all see that? Y'all see the atom? Y'all see that? I'm gonna go deeper into this, but y'all take a look at this. And then he hands the key over to Donald Trump. We already know what Donald Trump represents. Now I want you to check this out, y'all. Shout out to the brother Holistic Remedies for pointing this out, y'all. But check this out. I've been showing you guys this. You can clearly see there's multiple. Y'all see that, right? Y'all see that? And in the Bible and many other books, it tells you that God is a wheel within a wheel. So again, y'all, a big shift is taking place, and I believe this year is going to be the first wave of it, where a whole bunch of us is going to get catapulted to a new place. People are talking about a separation. This is the great separation that's taking place right now. But yeah, let me know what you guys think about this video. Do you feel it? Do you feel it? The shift is here. Like, follow, and share for more videos like this. Let's continue to get it. Peace in.
The real Willy Wonka had a very dark secret. Tunka Yahari, a highly successful entrepreneur in the early 1900s, owned a chocolate factory in Philadelphia. All his workers were kids, as he preferred cheap labor. Known for being stingy with his money, Tunka offered tours of his factory, but tourists who participated in these visits mysteriously disappeared. Over 200 people vanished during these tours, never to be seen again. Due to the wealth and economic power Tunka brought to the city, no one dared to speak up out of fear. That changed when a group of 4 friends decided to take a tour of the chocolate factory. Charlie Quinn, Joseph Catalini, Murray James, and Salvador Volcano. During the guided tour led by Tunka Yahari, the 4 friends began to feel an unsettling vibe about the factory owner. At the end of the tour, they arrived at a chocolate waterfall. The group dared Joseph to push Tunka into the waterfall as a harmless prank. After being pushed, Tunka drowned, and the police were called. When Tunka's body was recovered, it had already transformed into a frozen chocolate statue. In an attempt to save him, doctors used a hammer to break through the chocolate layer.
What are you blowing the whistle on?
That there are technologies at the South Pole Station that people can't even consider that exist on this planet.
Like what?
Directed energy weapon systems is something that people need to get in their vocabulary fast. The ice cube neutrino detector is not simply a passive listening device as presented for the science that they're claiming it to do. It also has the capacity to transmit. There are embedded in the ice what are called digital optical modules, DOMs. They're about the size of a basketball. The array embedded in the ice is 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer. It is the world's largest telescope. And now, because we have proven that it can transmit, it's the world's largest directed energy weapons system. It is responsible for the earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand in 2011 on the front end of the year.
How do you know for a fact that that was responsible for that?
Because I was present and I have gone over this with the pertinent people that I will not be releasing their names.
Okay.
But I was on the team, let's just say, and I've confirmed this.
Well,
I've provided documentation from the actual manufacturer's specs. So this unit was constructed, operated, and maintained by the University of Wisconsin, and just like every other device on the planet, whether you're driving an M1 Abrams tank or operating the ice cube neutrino detector, there's operator's manuals that tell you how things work. Right there in that information, free for everybody to find. I found it myself. I was directed to find it, I'll put it that way, and release this information. And it states very clearly that each one of these DOMs can transmit at 2,047 volts each. So these are currently the facts of life.
How do you know? I mean, how do you? I guess what I'm asking is, how did it even come to your attention that this triggered an earthquake? If you're at the South Pole and New Zealand had an earthquake, I mean, how did you know it came from the South Pole?
Without divulging names?
Without divulging names.
I could only say that it was communicated to me from team members that were present and fully read in at the time that they were aware. And since that time...
at the immediate, like the same day?
Oh, absolutely. It was understood.
Well, what was said?
That we accidentally hit Christchurch, New Zealand twice when they were trying to fire up this weapon for the first time. That it was friendly fire. It was not on purpose, but it occurred. That the system is designed for that. And it was just friendly fire.
So this is a telescope. That sounds like a... Is it a telescope?
Absolutely. It is a neutrino detector, for sure. It can accomplish its primary purpose. It can also transmit and then provide a multifaceted platform for directed energy weapons systems.
Do you have any idea how the earthquake was initiated?
From misfiring the system.
Where
were they targeting?
Yes.
I don't know.
Does it go into the earth? Does it go into the atmosphere?
It can definitely go through the earth. I would consider that it might be able to do stuff in the atmosphere. I haven't heard that statement laid at its feet. but I wouldn't put it past it. I don't want to try to limit the functions of this device by my imagination or experience. I believe that's one of the problems with directed energy weapons, is they are not like standard weapons of old where you have a gun and a particular caliber bullet, you pull the trigger and it does one thing. These platforms are way more complex than that. They do a lot of things.
What else do they do?
Excuse me. This system, additionally, in regards to the neutrinos, it detects the neutrinos that are apparently coming off of the new exotic propulsion systems for either off-world UFOs or reverse engineered stuff on our planet.
What is neutrino?
Neutrino is a near massless particle that goes at, close, or beyond the speed of light. It is so small that it can pass between the electron shell and the nucleus of pretty much every atom on the planet. In the capacity of being detected at the South Pole Station, when the neutrino impacts the nucleus of the water molecule of the ice in the glaciers at the pole, a reaction occurs. The nucleus and the neutrino become destroyed. A muon is created and ejected, and a blue flash of light known as Cherenkov radiation flashes in the ice, and that's what the DOMs, the digital optical modules, are detecting. That's their primary purpose as presented. Now, whether that neutrino comes from a quasar out in space or a exotic propelled engine off of vehicles that aren't being discussed contemporarily, it detects it, thus making it basically an air traffic control center for all non-discussed vehicles on this planet. So just like we have all the other air traffic on the planet and it's being completely observed and attended to, there's just another level of craft on this planet and another level of air traffic control tower that exists. This is that facility.
I wonder if that system is responsible for some of the natural disasters that's been happening lately.
Now what the hell going on here, America? This bus full of kids running around, right? But check this out. Ain't no kids on the bus. They ghosts. Ooh. Ain't nobody on that bus, y'all. Ain't nobody on that bus. So how's them kids running around on this bus when ain't nobody on the bus, y'all? What kind of poltergeist shit is this going on here, America, huh? Huh? For real, this one of them Freddy Krueger buses. Yeah, it is. Yeah, that's one of them Nightmare on Elm Street buses right here. For real, for real. Look at this shit. You see them running across, they just keep on playing. They running across on the bus.
This could have been shadows from the tree branches across the way. But that's it for the video. Thanks for coming through. If you enjoyed this content, don't forget to like this video, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace.